There's a marketing concept I learned many years ago called LTV, or lifetime value, and it completely changed my video business. It actually changed how I looked at marketing and advertising and how I generated revenue. So I wanted to share that with you in this video, and hopefully you could benefit from it too. And at the end of the video, I wanted to show you exactly how to figure this out, how to actually calculate the LTV for your company. I'll give you exactly the formula for that. And then I'll show you inside of QuickBooks, my bookkeeping software, on exactly what I look at. It makes it really easy. So if you do use QuickBooks, if you have it already, or if you use it later on, you could just use what I do. I do it at the end of the year, every single year, and it only takes me about 5 minutes. So let me share this quick story with you, how this finally clicked for me, because I knew about LTV way back in the day. You'll find it in marketing books, but I really never understood how I would apply it to my video business. So the way it really clicked for me was actually through another company that I co-founded about 4 years ago, called Festivals, where we basically streamed videos or movies from film festivals online. So it was kind of the Netflix model, subscription based. What I learned there is we were getting pretty much all our customers through Facebook and Instagram ads. So when we would post an Instagram ad, I would just do the math on that to figure out, is this profitable for me? And what ended up happening is every time, in order to get a customer to pay us the monthly fee, which was $20 per month, and you could watch any film festival you want that was live in that time, it would cost me or our company $55 to acquire that customer. So then I'm looking at the numbers thinking, wait a minute, we're spending $55 to acquire a customer giving us $20. This business model is just not working. So I'm doing a bit more research, and I looked up how much Netflix is spending to acquire a customer, right? Because we had a similar business model. And I'll show you exactly how this relates to our world of a service business with video too. But when I realized what Netflix was spending, it completely changed how I look at the whole equation. And then I applied it to my video business. And Netflix at that time was spending $338 based on this article to acquire one customer. Well, Netflix at the time was $15 a month. So how did that make sense? That's when lifetime value number kicked in. Netflix cared about what that customer was worth to them in the lifetime of their subscription, right? In the lifetime of having a customer, Netflix was retaining an average person for 41 straight months on average, right? I've had Netflix for well more than 10 years, right? But someone might cancel after 1 month. 41 months times whatever the price was at the time, maybe $15, is a lot more than $338. So they could keep spending, and this is when Netflix is very saturated, right? They have hundreds of millions of users. So as you get more users, it was costing more and more, where we were starting very early with very little users. So $50, $55 was very cheap relative to a big company for acquiring customers, and it was more targeted. Okay, so that's how it clicked for me, and I recalculated everything. And I realized as long as we keep someone for 3 months at $20 a month, we're profitable. So now if we keep them 6 months, we're much more profitable, right? We double our profit there, and so on, right? So then I did that math for my video production company, which I never thought about before, because the video production company a lot of times just does one-off projects, right? Someone hires you, you make a video for them, they pay you, and that's it. You never work with them again, right? But the exact same model applies for a service business and every single business. It's not just related to subscription, which is why I ignored LTV, or lifetime value number, my entire career with my video service. But the way you basically grow your video business is you get a client, you hold on to that client, and you do repeat work for that client. So the lifetime value of that client is usually not just that one job. Sure, there are clients where they're only gonna hire you one time. But if you really care about customer satisfaction and making sure that client is getting exactly what they want, there's a very good chance, if they're the right client, that they're going to give you more work down the line, right? Most of our clients that we have are repeat clients, and we don't have to rely always on incoming new clients, right? We could have clients that are even 10 years old. So let me get to the calculation of it so you could actually benefit and do this for your company. Because again, I do this every year, because as your business ages, right, the LTV, the lifetime value number, will change. So at the end of every single year, and I'll show you here inside of QuickBooks with my numbers on exactly how I do that. Just so you get the idea here, all you need to do this for your business. So let's say you've been in business for 3 years. So the length of the business doesn't matter all that much, right? Because you're gonna do the LTV, that's the lifetime value. So if you've been in 10 years or 3 years or 20 years, you still don't use the year in the calculation of it. All you really have to do is you have to take all the clients you had for the lifetime of your business. Again, even if it's 3 years old, right? You take all of those clients, then you add those and you get a number. Let's say in the lifetime of your business, you've had 30 different businesses and people that you've worked with, okay, in your video business. That's the first number. Then you take everything you make in that 3 years' time. So let's say each year you made $50,000, right? Total revenue, $50,000, you're starting out. You add those together, the 3 years, and you get 150K, right? So in the last 3 years, you made 150K. And that took you 30 different clients to get to that point. Now, all you have to do is divide the total revenue in the whole time you've been in business, 150K. You divide that by the total clients, which was 30 in this case. And now your LTV or lifetime value per client on average is $5,000. So this is really interesting because a lot of times if you don't do this math, you're always thinking about what the project was that you did for that client last. And a lot of times that could be 3,000, 4,000, right? Even lower, right? But when you look at the big picture of lifetime, especially with long-term repeat clients, you realize now you could completely change how you market and advertise your business, right? If I knew a lifetime value of a client is $5,000, instead of looking at the last client that only paid me $1,500, now, will I spend $1,000 to acquire clients all day long? Of course I would, because the lifetime value of every client to me on average is $5,000. The longer you're in business, the better this will get if you retain clients long term. So we have many clients, right, that have given us in lifetime 6 figures. So how much will I spend if that was the average for my company? Well, a lot more than $1,000 to get a client because I'm looking at the lifetime value to my company. I'm not looking at one-off project, which a lot of video people just think of it that way as a lifetime or as a per project basis. So when they're looking at return on investment on ad spend, for example, or any form of marketing, even in their time, if it's free marketing, they're looking at, well, how much did that cost me to acquire that project? But it shouldn't be that project. It should be that client and the lifetime value on that client. And because you don't know that on new clients, you look at the lifetime of your company and you get the LTV or lifetime value for your entire client. Okay? Makes sense, hopefully. And I'll show you here inside of QuickBooks how easy this is. This is why I mention QuickBooks from time to time, because I could do this in 5 minutes or less. So QuickBooks has this section called reports, and a lot of the ones I look at are typically balance sheets and profit and loss. Again, you don't have to worry about this. A lot of times your accountant would take care of it. What I really care about here and for this video to figure out lifetime value is there's a section under sales here where it shows you income by client summary. This is going to give me the big picture overview of how much a client has paid me in the lifetime of that client. So if I click here, and I'm going to blur out, obviously, my clients' names. But what I do is, what's the lifetime of my company? Well, I've had this QuickBooks since January 1st, 2013. So it's about 10 years, a little shy of 10 years lifetime. So this gives me the big picture of how much a client has paid me in the lifetime of that client, right? So as I go through this here, I could see that I have some clients that have paid me almost $1 million, right? I have some clients that have paid me $250,000. But at the same time, I've had also when I was starting out clients, right, where I just showed up sort of like a freelancer through my production company, where they only gave me $1,000 or $1,500. Sometimes we were renting out some gear the first year or so, and we have some really low numbers here where they're just like gear rentals, right? So this is like a lavalier rental just for $57. So this may throw off the numbers. So what I would do is I would go through this whole list of client, right? And I would just add all these clients here on the left side to see what was the total number of clients I worked with in the last 10 years. I would take that number and I would know my total revenue. This adds it all up on the bottom of this page, right? Then I would divide the total revenue by the total number of clients. That gets me my lifetime value. And in most cases, this is going to change all the time, right? Because the lifetime value, if you retain more clients every year, should kind of go up and not down. If you're not constantly bringing new low-end clients and you're getting more high-end clients, or the value of a single client keeps rising up, every time I do check this, the lifetime value that the client goes up, so I just revisit how much I would spend on marketing and client acquisition. And hopefully this makes sense for you. And even if you're brand new, or if you're in business for less than a year, this is something you could implement all the time moving forward. Always go back, look at your LTV, and then revisit how much you're willing to spend to acquire a customer or client. This is all about customer and client acquisition. If you know your LTV, on average for your entire company, over the lifetime of your business, it's going to make it so much easier to invest in your business in the marketing side. Without knowing this, yes, it really was hard to spend $1,000 to acquire clients. And when the client gave me $1,200, it didn't make me any money, right? It didn't make sense. But then I realized if I kept that client and they gave me another job and another job, I'm not spending any money anymore to acquire them, right? So now I'm building this lifetime value for that client. And when you land bigger clients and bigger clients, the lifetime value, as you could see, could get to 6 and 7 figures over time. So that's what I recommend that you do for yourself. Even if you're a freelancer, you could do this with your freelance clients and see how much a single freelance client is worth to you. So hopefully you found this valuable, and next week I am posting a really complete video on 10 different ways to market your business that I've personally had experience with. So hopefully you'll find that valuable coming up next week. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.